Hi guys, Shannon Gonter here with Therapy by Shannon, and today we're going to be talking about how meditation can help you just kind of allow and be with your emotions. So first off, we've of course all heard the word emotion, but what it really means is a conscious mental reaction, such as anger or fear, subjectively experienced as strong feeling, usually directed towards a specific object or typically accompanied by a physiological or behavioral changes of the body. Another definition of it is a state of feeling. So, of course, we know that there's lots of different emotions that we can feel throughout our days and throughout our lives, and how we express them is very different too from how a 2-year-old feels an emotion and how they express it, and how a 22-year-old feels an emotion and how they express it. Can look very different, and there's lots of reasons why we express our emotions differently at different ages. Um, so there's kind of like different levels of emotions as well. A lot of factors play into that of kind of what is in our consciousness or awareness, whether it's what we know is socially acceptable for our age range and how to allow that to be presented in our lives, or it just might be kind of what was modeled for us in our childhood or adolescence, and or a combination of all of that and what we think is acceptable for us personally, because we all do hold ourselves to different standards than other people hold us to. But there are, so many emotions that are under the surface of the ones that we actually verbalize. So, for example, when we say that we are mad, we're not just mad. That's just what we're saying. We may feel hurt or hostile or furious, but it's really just easiest to identify with being mad, so we go with that. We work through being mad or vent to our loved ones, and in the end, we really only have brushed over the surface of what's really going on. We haven't got down to the bottom of it because we haven't really addressed any of those other underlying emotions that are behind the scenes of what mad looks like and how we express that in our lives. Sometimes we kind of like pull these uncomfortable emotions close to us because they can be really familiar to us, and other times we push them away. The tricky thing is that like sometimes the harder we push them away, or try to hide them or lock them behind closed doors, the more they grow and the more symptoms that we kind of see show up in our lives. So the secret to living with all your emotions, and yes, that means even the uncomfortable ones, is to embrace these emotions. We want to focus on the feeling, we want to learn from these feelings, and we want to move forward peacefully. So, advice for allowing these emotions, and again, yes, even the uncomfortable ones, into your life is we can do this through meditation. And so, simply whatever meditation practice you are doing, we can integrate this and do pretty much every way of meditation, every way of being. We simply, throughout the meditation, we want to observe our emotions without trying to figure out why they are there, where they came from, or how to get rid of them. We simply just want to be with them, and to know, one, that while we're doing the meditation, we're in a safe space and we physically are out of harm's way. But again, even when we're in a physically safe space, the emotions that we feel can make us feel like we're not that safe, and they can trigger all sorts of things inside of us. So really being able to observe all of that, it's going to be really unnatural, and it's not going to be something that comes easy to all, because when uncomfortable things happen in our lives, we are taught to fix them right away and to try to lessen the uncomfortability, of course. So this is something that takes practice. But again, just trying to like simply be with that emotion without trying to alter it or question it in any way. Also, throughout your meditations, you can try to focus your attention on where you're feeling your emotions. Most of the time, we do feel them throughout our body, and remembering that our mental health and our body are very much one and the same, and they are not separate. So, kind of like, don't like name the, I don't know, like just try to focus on like literally where you're feeling, and try not to go to like automatically to naming it as sadness or anxiety or hostility. because then that kind of puts it in a category in our brain as like good or bad. And we don't want to kind of do that right away because, again, we can't always trust our automatic thought patterns and our automatic emotional namings. So we want to try to just like feel it in our body. So maybe you're noticing throughout the meditation that you're really tense in your shoulders. Instead of naming that as tension and associating that with anxiety, maybe just notice it for what it is. Physically feel in your body, what does it feel like to have your shoulders up closer to your ears? And then what does it feel like to lower them? And really just concentrate on how that feels inside your body to like learn how to connect those wires so they can talk to each other a little bit easier in the future. And throughout that experience of connecting with your body, you're going to be able to place a name to that emotion eventually, but we want to be able to have a placeholder there or a big old question mark there for a little bit, so we can become more comfortable, again, simply just being with our emotions and not trying to change them. So in the middle of a meditation, if you are becoming overwhelmed by an emotional experience or feeling, just really focus on the breath. You don't have to dive into this and totally dedicate your whole meditation to it. Pull back a little bit. Take a deep breath, slow deep breaths. Can really help throughout a meditation to kind of like reset your intentionality and your thoughts. And then if you feel comfortable and safe diving back into it within that same meditation, go for it. But if not, again, just take note of that experience and kind of bookmark that, because that's a huge sign for you that there is something behind there to unpack. This is something that you can talk over with a loved one and or with a mental health professional as well. But really being able to collect that data from all of your experiences to be able to, again, become more comfortable with sitting with those emotions without having the urge to change them. But that's kind of all I've got for you today on how to kind of allow our emotions be and how meditations can assist with that. Of course, with all my recordings, I do have a blog associated with it, and there's tons of resources and links out to all sorts of things that are online and that can assist you kind of learning how to be with our emotions. But as always, it's such a joy to be able to share this information with you guys. And if you want to learn more about me, you can go to my site at therapybyshannon.com, or you can check me out on Instagram or Facebook at Therapy by Shannon.